All right. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is a new plug that's kind of come out called the SP500. It's a new square plug. It's made by KMMK Solutions. It's this guy that's been machining them and designing them. He's in Paris, France, and I just bought like 50 of these and was going to be putting them together and thought I'd do a video on it and just share what I like about them and as well just some of the pros and cons. First off, the thing that I really like about them is that they save a ton of space on my pedal board. So like if you're thinking of putting together a board and you have a bunch of pedals, you can essentially get these pedals that close together, which is pretty close. Now I'll show you another example with some pedals. If I'm using, like in the past, I've used Georgels a lot. Here, let me put a couple together. In the past, I've used like the Georgel pedals. I've used these cheap ones that, let's see, I've had just gotten cheap. I don't even remember where, but if you'll notice, I know some of the pedals are kind of out of video, but we're looking at right here, you're looking at just the width of my finger, where here you're looking at, I can almost get 2 fingers in between those spots. So there's a lot, you save a lot of space when you use, or I'm going to save a lot of space when I use these new plugs. Another thing I really like about them is that they're super, they're made really well. Like the screws, the design, like the seal and the clamp of the plug. Let me see if I can, yeah, here we go. This is what they look like. Comes with the little shielding. It's just 2 lugs, so it's a mono plug. They've been really easy to solder to, and I've been putting them together. Here, I've made a couple right here. I've been putting them together with some lava cable mini ELC, and they've been super snug fit. I feel like it's super tight, like it's not going to be sliding around in there. It's not going to come undone. Soldering, like I said, worked great, and the clamp is really tight. Another thing I noticed on these is, you know, in comparing these to other popular ones like the Switchcraft 228, not only is it smaller, it's not only is it thinner, but as well, like I said, just the build quality seems to be really great. I don't know if you can tell, but the screws that even tighten and clamp the plug back on, the screws are actually even bigger than what's on the Switchcraft here. So let me see if I can get it focused for you. So yeah, it's all, I can even like show you the difference of, let's see here. I'm going to clear these out for a second and show you what it looks like putting a couple of these in a Strymon. Or I'll even just show you right now like the height differences. So you got the square plug. Here's what a Georgel looks like, height-wise. Here's what a just random cheapo plug looks like. Here's what the Switchcraft looks like. And you can see the square plug definitely is a tighter, closer, smaller, more compact fit. I really love it. And another thing that I like about it is that I was wondering, you know, shoot, if all these are so tight, I'm gonna have to have them all angled down and I have to have the cable coming out. But what I like about it is that with the design, you can actually still get them angled pretty well. Here, I'll go and actually put a couple ones that I've made on here. And so you can see they actually still angle decently. And you probably can't tell, I'm gonna even lay it down, but I can press it and put it all the way flat down, even with those cables right there, it's still, I'm getting it to touch all the way flush. So yeah, so they work really well. I can show you these plugs on a couple other pedals. Here's just a random looper that I have. They can angle there. You can see kind of a little bit below the pedal because it's a really flat pedal. But if you're thinking about, like, if you have a pedal train, I have a pedal train PT3, and I'll just, you know, if you have the rung, how it has the gaps, I'll just put it on the rung where the cables will go down in the gap and it works perfectly. Like I said, you can see it right here. And it's a really small footprint, you know, I mean, you can get that close to pedals. Here, I'll show it to you on a couple other pedals. Works on the timeline. I have a time factor here. I'm putting them in. You can see this pedal's kind of really small and flat, so they do stick out. You would have to make sure and mount it where you either have a riser on your board, on your pedal, or these cables are going down into a hole or like in a space between the rungs on like a pedal train pedal board. But super tight, super close fit. And I really like that because it saves a ton of space on my board. Here, I'll show you in another pedal. This one's the good old Green Machine Line 6 DL4. You can see it's really tight, really tight here. Here you could actually angle it a lot more because there's more space in between the sockets, and it just looks great. I will say the one thing that I found in putting them and building cables for my pedal board that I didn't like is they don't fit on this Boss DD5 that I have. I couldn't get them to both mount. Like the cables or the jacks on the Boss pedals. I don't know if all Boss pedals are like this. Maybe some of the newer ones aren't. But on my DD5, I couldn't get these to fit here. I can't get them to fit here. Just making sure it's in focus for you guys. Even if you turn it out like this, it still doesn't. I mean, it barely does, but I wouldn't want to push it and force it and end up breaking the pedal because I love this pedal. But so that's the only con I found, is that it doesn't seem to really work on Boss type pedals. Everything else seemed to work great. Here's an Electro Harmonics pedal. Like I said, fits fine. Fits fine. You could even do it like this if you needed it to be flat. And it allows you, like if you stack them like that or something, you're getting so close to each pedal that it's like you're saving tons of space. I'm actually, with the cabling I had on the George L's and now that I'm redoing my board with these, I think I'm going to actually be able to fit 3 extra pedals, or about 2 extra pedals on my PT3 that I wasn't able to fit before. So I'm super stoked about it, super excited about them. Like I said, they're kind of a brand new plug. You should check them out. There's only like a couple places, like maybe 2 or 3 places in the US that even sell them right now. And I'll put those in a link in the description. And anyway, just wanted to do a review and say that these are awesome. I highly recommend them if you're going for like low profile stuff. I think this could even be a game changer for a lot of you guys that use loopers and stuff. You just want to make sure that they fit on your looper. Maybe a Boss looper wouldn't work if they put their stuff so close together and you would need a straight angle plug. But for most other loopers, you could save tons of space instead of having to put like a straight plug coming out of there where you're using up and you're losing about 1.5 to 2 inches of space. So anyway, here you only lose about, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Anyway, hope this review is helpful for you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.